So what is up, New Wave? This is First Tuesday. First Tuesdays are awesome because we take what we learned in the Power Talks and we mastermind that stuff and deploy it so that we really get the most out of the information. We make sure that that information is put to use. So thank you all for joining on. I'm working off a cell phone. I'm at my parents' house right now. What's up, Robin? Robin just joined the meeting. Shout out to Robin who crushed it on the Power Talk. Stole my blue ball. Might want that back. Of course, I just gave it to her. I think I gave it to her, right? But shout out to me for that throw. I mean, that was pretty epic, right? If you guys saw that, like from Colorado to Canada, if you guys saw that. But Robin's got the headphone. What's up, Robin? So First Tuesdays, we're all about making people deploy it. And if you guys didn't catch the Power Talk, we talked about making your business fun. And I think all of us, when we're having fun, when we're getting momentum, I think we can define fun in different ways, but when it's fun, we're growing. You know, things are getting better. You enjoy showing up to work every day. It doesn't seem like a drag. And the things that you say you're going to do, you actually do because it's enjoyable. So I want to talk about, like, maybe I want to call on two people, and I want you just to describe kind of like maybe your funnest day as a Beachbody coach and what that looked like. So think back on your whole career and what did that look like? So I see iPhone. Is that Katie, or who is that with the blue tank top? Who is that?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Karen.
Karen, okay. So Karen, what was your funnest day as a Beachbody coach, and what kind of led up to that moment?
Oh, well, that had to be Summit, but
cool.
That's because I got to meet my team. I hadn't met most of my team members at that point because they're all East Coast, and I'm out here in Vegas by myself. So as far as just that whole time getting to know them, because everybody else I'd just connected with online previously.
Such a cool moment, right? Because you have those relationships and you get a sense of what somebody's like, and you do projects together, you take missions together, and then at Summit, it's like, you're the person that I did that with, right? And it's exactly. So cool. And I think New Wave was so cool there, all the New Wavers who showed up and, took selfies and stuff like that too. Because you can do amazing things across the country, but there's nothing like being in the same room with somebody, right?
Yes.
So what's that takeaway is, like, one, like make a commitment to go to events, whether it be a Super Saturday or a summit, and make sure to like meet people and then spend time in the same rooms with people, right? So I think that's great. So if you're walking that, like, make a point to recruit a team, but then make sure you take them to Summit or meet up at Summit or meet up at a Super Saturday. I think that's a great advice. How about Steve? Steve, I don't know if you're there or not, if you can see or hear me. I know you got me muted and the screen thing, but if you can unmute, or if you just want to be a fly on the wall, it's totally fine there too. But Steve's like, no, I'm checked out, y'all. How about you, Lisa? I got to meet you at Summit, and that was a cool moment. Lisa, she calls herself the New Wave cheerleader. But she doesn't give herself enough credit because Lisa totally helps drive New Wave and make New Wave in the mastermind. She was always on these calls. She really makes it a fun people. And if you guys haven't caught some of her lives, you should totally catch her live. She's very engaging the way she gives that. So what was your funnest moment as a coach, Lisa?
Well, I would say Summit, but it's taken.
Okay.
So I'll use my second funnest moment, which was right before Summit. We had done the freemiums, and you had challenged me. I did a Nashville freemium, and I went outside my house, and I went live in my front yard so I could show everybody Nashville from where I lived.
Yeah.
And it was a blast. It was hysterical. I had planes and trees and all kinds of things, and it was fun. And it felt, I was in the community too for the first time, which is a little daunting, but fun too, because we're all we have such a feeling of being together, not super diamond and mid diamond and almost diamond and just starting out. We're all in it together. And that is just, it's amazing.
You had a live too where your cat like totally ate it or something in the background. Didn't that happen if I remember?
That was my very first live, my very first one. And she was sitting there, and then all of a sudden she like fell right off the table. Boom, gone. And I didn't even know she was over there. She was cleaning herself and stealing the show. So I got to post it and said, watch for the cat.
Right.
So
right.
Kind of making lemonade.
There you go. That's a cool lesson. I'll piggyback off of that, Lisa, because one of my, I think, funnest moments is when I've been able to do something that I've never done before, right? So anytime I'm a coach, if I set a new personal record or help somebody else set a personal record, like if there's something that's happened where I've never been a part of that, like that's always I'm always driven about, like I tell people, grow your dreams, right? And so whenever I'm doing something bigger or better, or New Wave has a different idea and we deploy it, like we've never put on the Power Talk and then also we put it on, or we're talking about hiding emojis. Whenever we're kind of thinking outside the box, those for me are the funnest moments. And it's something I really like to strategize about. Anybody else want to share before we move on what your funnest moment is?
Mine was definitely being at Summit. That was amazing. Getting to meet new waivers. As a lot of people said, Summit was the time. And the fact that I was the correspondent, so I was like all over the place and got to meet Lisa, Dana, Andy. Like it was amazing.
Awesome. So let's mastermind a little bit, like, because Summit, we don't get another Summit until freaking July. Like I have to wait. It sucks because I love all of you all, and like I won't be able to see you until July, some of you. But how do we make it fun in September? How do we make it fun in October? And kind of going into the end of the year. What are you guys going to do between now and then to make it fun? So, Vanessa, how about you? Do you have any strategies about how to make it fun? What are you going to do in your personal business?
Yeah, so I don't know. I've kind of had a realization recently where I need to take it back to the basics, specifically with challenge groups, because I think that I have, over the last year or so, when Beachbody has implemented a lot of the bigger changes like Beachbody On Demand, which is new, and that's definitely changed kind of how our business works and how people purchase things and buy challenge packs and that sort of thing. So I think I failed to kind of evolve with some of those changes. And so I had a big realization recently where I need to take it back to challenge groups. And instead of focusing on just coaches or recruiting coaches or, growing my team, I need to really put my focus on the challengers, because if you're able to make it fun in your challenge groups, keep it engaging, people are going to love what they're doing. They're going to have a good time. And then as a result, they're going to get results. And that's what we're here for, really, at the end of the day, right? So I've been putting a lot of focus on my challenge groups, especially with the Health Bet this month. This is my first month using the app. I've been a little afraid to kind of switch over to the app, but I'm absolutely loving it. And my challengers are loving it. I think they're having an easier time checking in and staying engaged with each other. So kind of shifting my focus over to that and making sure that my challengers are taken care of. I'm excited to see how that kind of spills over into my business in the next month or two.
What would you say is like the one thing that's making your challenge groups fun? Do you have like one ninja secret that is like really working that you want to share?
Well, I mean, I don't know that I have anything that I'm doing completely different other than using the app this month. And what I find with people, this is the downside Facebook groups, but they can feel really overwhelmed in a Facebook group. Yeah. Especially when they log in and they're distracted by all their other notifications. And I'm finding it easier for people to be held accountable for what they should be doing. So drinking their Shakeology and doing their workout. And that's what I'm liking about it. But with the app, because I usually do like a daily check-in thread. So I'm still doing that. So they check in their workout, they check in their Shakeology, and then they check for my post, and I have like a different thread. So I'm doing the way that I'm doing it this challenge group. It's a little bit different than what I usually do, but I'm basically implementing a different theme for every week. So this week we're focusing on nutrition. So every day I'm either giving them some sort of like little task or mini assignment to contribute to the group, like a recipe swap or sharing a healthy meal prep tip or something like that. Or I'm adding value. So I'm sharing a podcast or video or something that's going to help educate them, because as you guys, I'm sure, have dealt with this too. Sometimes you're working with people that literally have no idea what meal prepping is, or
right.
A lot of people go into this and they drink Shakeology for the first time and they have no idea what the value is of Shakeology. So after coming out of the summer, I have a lot of inactive coaches. I have a lot of customers who have pushed out their home direct, and that means they're not drinking it every day. So my task that I've given myself for this group is to really drill in the value of Shakeology and why it's not a protein shake by itself. It's not, just some like random meal supplement. It's more than that, right? So, and then I have a personal development weekly theme, a fitness theme, and I can't remember what the last one is. I think it's something along the lines of like organization, and scheduling a routine for yourself. So basically I'm kind of like training them up to be coaches, really, if you kind of look at it in a bigger picture. So I'm excited to see how that pans out, like with the app, to see if, they're able to interact the way that they do in the Facebook groups.
That is so awesome, Vanessa. And that really was speaking to me. The one thing you said is give people a sole focus, because they don't have to be so scatterbrained. I've got to learn it all. It's like, hey, for this week, I'm going to work on this one thing. And then they feel like they're accomplishing something every week. Like, hey, if this is the nutrition week meal prep, like if they can go from not knowing meal prep to all of a sudden in a week having a skill set that they've learned, they've just won that week. Like you gave somebody a win, and they're not overwhelmed. So you took away their overwhelm and you let somebody have a sole focus and then, win. And I think as coaches, we can do that too. A lot of times we're trying to do so many things, trying to learn so many things. And maybe if we just spend a week and have a sole focus and get a win for the week, because winning's fun, right? So that's great. I love how you're doing that to your challengers. And then I think that would so cross over to, stuff we do as coaches to train and stuff. Like, let's just get a sole focus. What do you want to do in this next week? And then just go crush it, get a win, because winning is fun and winning is contagious. I think that was really great. I'm definitely going to bring that back to the community. Robin, how about you? How was how did your coach? Because I think your freemium was so good, and then I know I saw she gave you quite a bit of love in afterwards, saying, "Hey, Robin, congratulations to you." And I think New Wave, we always talk about, we help coaches carve their own wave because the oppression of the upline, right? And it's all this, maybe even more than it should be about this negative, but we wanted to highlight you and your team because she empowers you to be a leader, and make it fun for you in a different way, even if it's going against the way that she's doing it. So what has the reaction been from her? And then as maybe you've kind of learned that you're doing it, and now that you've taught that, have you learned anything more about that process that maybe you hadn't realized even at the talk?
Yeah, I mean, she's just very positive. Like when I approached her about doing an interview and asking her some questions, she's like, sure, I'll help anybody. And it's true. Like she's an open book. She'll do whatever she can to help whoever. But she's also very humble. So, she's like, I don't have all the answers and I just am doing the best I can. And I'm still learning how to lead. So I think that's I think that's really good. And I think that's really valuable to hear your upline saying that they don't have all the answers and they don't know everything, and I guess that's what makes her open to other ways of doing things and other suggestions as well. I've been going back and forth between, like, in my head about, okay, this has to be duplicatable, but even on my team, it's not like we all do it the same way. So I guess it just reinforced that, yes, there's systems in place, but we all have different strengths, and I think the whole talk about having fun reinforced that we all have strengths and we all have different things that we're good at and that we enjoy. And in order to stick with this business, we need to do something that's going to work with those strengths so that we do enjoy it.
That's awesome. Awesome. Thanks again. Tell her thanks again from all of us that she was willing to give her time to that. And I think you crushed it on the call for sure. Cheyenne, I want to come to you because I thought your freemium was unbelievable too. And I know for me, something that I struggle with is, like, I have this to-do list. I have this long list of things to get done. And you talked about how to, like, just find your power 15 minutes and just get it there. But, like, for me, like, I could crush 15 minutes, but there's still going to be, like, how do you turn it off? How do you say at the end of 15 minutes, like, okay, like, shut it down and not feel like, oh, I didn't get all of this other stuff? Because for me personally, I'll think about the stuff that I didn't get done, whereas you had helped everybody kind of crush it in the pockets. How do you let the pockets be enough, I guess, is kind of where I was still maybe hung up a little bit. If you can go into that a little bit, that'd be great.
So the thing that helps me with that is I'm working, right? So I kind of have no choice when it's 15 minutes to 15 minutes. Like, I can't say, oh, let me keep going for another hour and a half, because my boss won't be happy with that. So that helps out for the 15-minute pockets. The part that I have difficulties with is in the evening time.
Mm-hmm.
Evening times, once, like, now my son's in bed, not sleeping, but he's in bed. Usually, like, I'm on the computer right now, and I can be on there for a few hours, and it's bad. Like, that's the part where I really need to, like, dial in. And you could tell also in the freemium, I didn't really, like, I put a time limit for the activities that you do in the evening time, but I also kind of left it open and just said, like, finish it off. So for someone that can be half an hour and they're done, whereas for me, I continue with it, and then I'm like, let me schedule my post for tomorrow. And then while scheduling my post for tomorrow, I might find another post that I'm like, ooh, I don't want to talk about that tomorrow. I might schedule it for another day. And then you just, like, keep going and going and going. So I find during the day, really, Andy, I have no special trick. It's really just stops me. I have heard some people say that you can use a timer, like get like a little, those timers that you use like for cooking or whatever, and you just set your timer, and then once that timer is done, well, you're done. I've heard of that trick. I've heard of scheduling it in your calendar so you get a pop-up once that time is done. Like, there's so many different tricks, but it really boils down to disciplining yourself, right? Because if that timer goes off, you might still continue with it because you're like, whatever. I'll still continue because I can. But you also have to realize, okay, well, if you're continuing with that, what are you not doing? Because of course, also about your day, So yeah, I don't really have a special trick. I'm sorry.
You just got to hit the end, right? You just stop and be happy with what you did and make those pockets. I think your freemium was so good, right? Like, how to just be so efficient where you feel accomplished, even if you only have a short time. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah. It's hard when you're working because you really feel that, you really feel that you don't have enough time to do everything. But if you really like dial in, you can have the time to do everything. You just got to stay focused.
For sure. So Caitlin, I want to go to you because you've had kind of a life change. And how would you tell a Beachbody coach or a new waver to make it fun when, like, life is changing, right? Like your schedule's changing. You have to find maybe a new way to handle things. Maybe you can work your business more because you have more freedom, or maybe you have to shrink it a little bit, but be more efficient, think outside the box. I know you just became a nurse, so first of all, congratulations with that. But how are you keeping it fun with evolving, changing life? Like, how does that work?
Oh my gosh, yeah. My big change in my schedule, I'm now working full-time and overtime and trying to find time for it. Can be stressful to come home, like I still got to do invites, still got to do this and that, when I'd rather just go relax. I mean, really, it's about fun, really finding your why, and that makes a big difference right there, remembering why you're there. And for me, the fun part of the business is the challenge groups and interacting with everyone. And when people actually interact with each other and help each other out and posting out their successes, I think that's so much fun, and getting to know them and seeing their success and helping them. Just about remembering their why and doing what's important.
That's so awesome. So I'll give my tidbit. Like, the biggest thing to make it fun, like New Wave is such a passion of mine, right? And it's because I just give away stuff that I learned, but you guys are so amazing. The gratitude that you give, you guys are like sponges. Some of you soak up the information. Some of you are very gracious, very thankful. The way that you acted around me, like just this farmer from Colorado who, at last summit and then this summit, you guys gave me so much love. It felt so good. And I didn't do anything heroic or special. I just was willing to give what I learned to all of you. And so I want everybody to feel that. Like, so, like I kind of talked about this a little bit last night, but if you're at a restaurant and somebody gives you great service, just be like, hey, like, you made my meal better because your service was amazing. Like, give that gratitude. Help somebody below you out, like help somebody who's maybe just starting, who's hungry for it. Like, give them something that's going to further them in the business. Give that challenger who's ready to really crush it, spend a little bit extra time with them. I know you guys do that great, but give a little bit more than you're doing, because that is so fulfilling, y'all. So that's what makes it fun for me, is giving without any expecting of it to return. But it returns anyway in a way that's so like unbelievable. You don't even expect it. And it's so good. And that's what makes me show up every day. I look forward to what's going to happen in New Wave. I look forward to what's going to happen in my challenge groups, and the messages and the feedback that I get. That's what really makes it fun on the hardest of hard days. So if there's anything else before we wrap up, let me know. But thank you so much. I'm going to post the recording, so if you didn't get on here live, please watch this, and then please share your best tips in the comments about what you can do to make it fun. Or if it's not fun, I want you to own it right now in the comments and be like, hey, I'm struggling. It's not fun right now, and it hasn't been fun in about a month. Here's what I'm personally struggling with. Ask for help, because there's a lot of people in this community who want to help you make it fun again. Because when you're having fun, you're going to help more people. So I think that would be great. So if you're having fun, tell us your best tips of what's making it fun. And if you're not having fun, ask for help from this amazing community, because I know that they'll rally around you and they'll help you make it fun again. So thank you guys so much for joining this call. I really appreciate all of you. Come to the next Tuesday, second Tuesday, we're going to plan Power Talk 10. I don't know if we should call it like Power Talk X, which is like P90X, right? Like Power Talk 10. Maybe we'll talk about that next Tuesday. But bring your stuff. I would love more New Wavers to start helping plan these and giving away your guys' best stuff for free. So thank you guys so much. We'll catch you guys later.
Bye.